Alright YouTube, let's talk about small generators and RV rooftop air conditioners.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream. Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out RV Daydream. Today I want to talk about, guess what, generators. I've talked about those in the past. I've done lots of reviews on generators, and we're talking about a Honda 2200i today, and I got the companion model. And that's because I've got this RV set up to where I can run my rooftop air conditioner with this Honda generator. Yeah, the little Honda generator. Now, I've done a review, or I'm in the process, but you'll see it, or you'll be able to go see it, doing a review of the Micro Air Easy Starts. Now, you got to keep in mind the price that's involved with all this stuff, because there's cheaper ways of doing it, and that's what I did initially. So let's go ahead and go back, and let's go ahead and talk about the generator that I currently have and what I've been doing with it. Good old Champion dual fuel. Now, if you've been looking at generators to buy to power your RV rooftop air, you have no doubtedly run into somebody that has a Champion generator that may or may not be dual fuel. Could be a remote start, electric start, whatever. And this one has been discussed by myself in a few previous videos. Now I'll put a link up in the bar up top here. You'll see it pop up on the screen. You can click that. You can go check out my video. I did a couple more after that showing run time of this generator and all kinds of stuff. Now, the reason that I wanted this generator more than anything else is I didn't really want to carry fuel in the back of my truck. As you can tell, I've got a cap back here, and any kind of gas fumes that may escape, of course, are going to kind of be trapped back here with my stuff. And some of that stuff may hold the smell, such as our canopy, such as our lawn chairs, and of course, just the bed of the truck itself. So I wanted one that ran on propane. And out of the box from the factory, Champion was the only one really offering a dual fuel that you could run on propane. Now, the thing with propane is you get less wattage. Your maximum wattage is going to be 3060. That's peak wattage. And running wattage is actually less than that. And it costs more to run on propane. So if you're running hours after hours, day after day, if you're out in the desert and you're boondocking, and you're wanting to run on propane only, the good news is that the propane tank will run about 12 to 14 hours if you have it on econo mode and you're running one of your rooftop AC units. The bad news is that tank costs roughly $10 to $15. 10 if it's on sale, 15 if it's an exchange, sometimes up to $18. Every 12 hours you run this generator on propane. Not only that, but if you're at elevation, if you're up in the mountains and that, you could get in the situation where this thing, the engine's not as efficient, and you know, this wattage may even be something that doesn't do the job for you 100%. Now, that happens with gasoline too, but you can see the gasoline starts off at such a much higher wattage. That's the 3400 watts. If it loses a couple hundred watts, it's not too much of a big deal. It can still do what you want it to do. Of course, you could get a companion, you could tie in here, and you could have two of these running at the same time, or you could have the lesser 2000 watt generator that Champion offers, and I'm sure those parallel together just fine too. The reason that I went with this is because this is the cheapest method that I could find to run a rooftop air conditioner without making any other changes to the RV. You have a RV plug for 30 amp, and you can plug your RV in, fill this with gas, or hook it up to a propane tank, fire it up, and you're going to power your rooftop air and of course maybe your refrigerator inside. I don't know if you could do your rooftop air and the microwave at the same time. It all depends. It's a little questionable there, and especially if the refrigerator kicks on. But getting back to cheap, these generators, you can find them on sale for around $900. I'll put the link down below. You can check, see what the current price is. But you can get away with quite a bit as far as saving money by just buying this generator and running it off of gasoline. You don't have to do anything else. But the reason that we got the micro air soft starts is because we've been talking about going to a smaller generator. So going back to the Honda generator here, we got the companion model because it has a 30 amp outlet already to make it a little bit easier to plug in the 30 amp cable that we have an adapter for this 50 amp unit. Now if you have two rooftop air conditioners, you're pretty much going to have a 50 amp system already on your RV. But with that micro air easy start, you can go with one of these now. Now here's where we get into some money though. This is about $1,100 generator. Again, the link will be down below for this, so you can click that and find out what the latest price is. And those micro air easy starts that's up on the roof, you're talking about $500 for those. So basically I've got about $1,600 invested just so I can run this smaller generator. Yeah, think about the difference there. So I was just talking about the Champion, it's about $900. You know, how much fuel savings or how much money could I spend on fuel and gas running that big generator before I got to the point where this Honda would pay for itself in those easy starts? Well, the whole thing is I'm not necessarily going to be running those air conditioners all the time on a generator, number one. So that even takes away some of this value of the small one, because it's going to take longer for me to utilize it to regain that money back. You know, gas savings on this. But this is lighter. It's going to save me on my back, that's for sure. And also, when we go into campgrounds, there could be a campground that charges you for electricity if you're staying for more than a month. And the fact that we have a couple of electronically aided AC units up on top that will keep that electricity load from peaking and spiking, that should keep our electric bill down to some extent also, because you're never going to have peaks every time that compressor kicks on and off. So that would help out too, without concern of generator talk whatsoever. But the other thing is I'm finding it hard for me to be able to mount my other generator, the big Champion, on this new RV. Now, if you guys watched me long enough, my last RV had a tongue mounted system that allowed the Champion to be mounted, and I put a transfer switch box in where you could just plug it in. When we stop somewhere, I just pull the cover off the generator, I fire it up, and I can run my air conditioner on the road at any roadside Walmart or truck stop or rest area that I want to, as long as I'm not disturbing anybody. Well, with this little one, there's a lot of companies that actually make boxes specific for this. The Champion, not so much. As far as this small one, there's a big difference of me building something or adding something on the back of the RV that might be able to hold a 110-pound generator bouncing down the road versus a 45-pound generator that's bouncing down the road. So there's a big benefit there. I think that overall, what we're going to end up doing is probably traveling with the big one in the back of the truck and have the little one handy just in case, and see what we run into, to where if we get in a situation where we're running it a lot, we're always going to be able to fire it up and have the ability to power our air conditioner, or at a real low volume and low fuel use, we'll be able to power and charge our batteries, which is also very important when boondocking. So ideally, whenever you want to be out in the boonies, the smaller the generator you have, the more efficient it is on fuel. And as long as it's charging the batteries, that's the best part about it, because you can use your batteries throughout the day, and then whenever it's time to charge, go ahead and fire this thing up, maybe at night, in the evening, right before everybody goes to bed. That way it's nice and cool, and you'll get them all charged up so it lasts all night long until the next day. So let's go ahead and break into this thing. This is going to be a review or anything like that. Basically, I'm going to open this thing up. We're going to see what it comes with, and then again, we're going to do some testing with the rooftop airs. Now that those micro airs are on top and they're trained, we're going to see what this thing can do. So out of the box, this is what you get. You have the manual. You have a tag that says no oil and engine. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but we had a subscriber that dropped by here not that long ago, and I bought a EU 2000 off of him as he didn't need it, and it was brand new, never was run. It had Honda oil with it, it had a accessory that was up on the handle for theft reasons, and I decided to sell it as I got it because I didn't think that we were going to go this route with these small generators. Well, guess what? Things change. New truck, new RV, and now I'm looking at a different generator system, and I wish I still had it. So Solly, if you're watching this, I wish I still had it. But we'll go ahead and go with this one first and see what it does and how it operates. Now, of course, whenever you get it, it says on here no oil. Make sure that you put the oil in there that they recommend after you do the hours of break-in that it recommends. You're going to want to change the oil, and then you can put in a good synthetic oil. Now, I don't know, I've been hearing on some of the other YouTube channels that the manufacturers are saying to put in lesser quality oil, you know, standard oil for break-in. Well, that was something that I mentioned a couple years back, and that's something that I learned in a seminar years ago. It was Redline Oil, and Redline Oil told us back when I worked at Summit Racing that you were not to use their oils for break-in, especially gear oils in the back end and the differentials. And then after the break-in, you could use their stuff. Whenever I was going to generator school down in Columbus for Briggs & Stratton, I posed the question to them about breaking in generators and small engines in general with, you know, synthetic oil, and I told them what I was told, and they said, you know, that's probably pretty accurate and true, and that they said that it makes sense, and that running just regular wax based or mineral based or paraffin based, however you want to say it, oil for the break-in, and then going to a full synthetic after the fact, that would probably be a pretty good idea. So I mentioned that in the video, and now all of a sudden it's become commonplace on YouTube for everybody to say that that's the standard and that the manufacturers are recommending that. That's not really the case. That was back in the early 90s with Summit Racing about differential break-in with Redline Oil. But that's the way I've always done my small engines. If I have a new engine, I'll put some standard oil in there. I'll run it for the break-in period. And the reason you do that is to allow the engine to reach the temperatures that it needs to reach and let that metal go ahead and get the wear that it needs to for the pieces to all mesh together and learn each other. And then after the fact, you drain it all out, get all those metal shavings out of there, you put the good oil in, and start doing your oil changes as needed. Now I have you guys set up on the tailgate where the generator is, so I don't know how much you're going to get as far as feedback out of that. It doesn't take hardly anything to start these. These are what I refer to as, I'm becoming one of them, the old man generator. Because it used to be, back in the day, you had to just really yank and pull these cords to get this stuff to start. And you had to have a quick pulse arm. Not anymore. You could just do nice, easy pulls, and this thing fires right up. Nice, easy pulls. That's the first pull, it's chugging. The output indicator, that's just saying that it's working. The rubber feet on this are incredible. You can see the movement there. Really isolating vibration to this tank tailgate, and it's quiet. I mean, it's really quiet, and it's on the highest setting right now. We're going to go ahead and run it like this for a while. It's really nice to finally own one of these things. I mean, they're legendary, and I'm going to be happy to operate it and use it as needed. Okay, so I have the battery charger back on because I want to see what kind of voltage this thing can handle, or amps. And I have the Honda generator connected with the Eco Throttle off. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to power up the 13,500 BTU air conditioner, which is the one in the bedroom. And then, which is zone 2. And then we'll go ahead and try to power on, this one by itself. Then I'll turn it off if it works, and then we'll go to the other one, the 15,000. So let's go ahead and high cool. Let's listen to what that generator does. As this thing takes a second for the fan to kick on. it's currently running the 13,500 BTU air conditioner. And I have to say that's pretty darn quiet. So let's go in and see what it looks like in there. And let's go in here. Again, right now we've got a, oh yeah, that's cold air. Right now we have this 13,500 BTU air conditioner running on high, and we have the battery charger turned on and charging the battery. So that's a success. The Honda is powering this. Now I don't want to turn on any interior lights because then the battery charger is going to work a little harder because the battery is going to have voltage up against it. So we'll go ahead and look over here. You can see barely. We're on high cool. I could screw around with it and put it on econo mode and see how that works, but I'm sure it will adjust itself just fine. So what I'm going to do now is turn the small air conditioner off by going to off. The air conditioner has not quite clicked off yet. There it goes. And now let's go ahead and go to zone 1. This is the big air conditioner, and we'll go to high cool. Let's go hear what that sounds like out here. I just heard it kick on a little bit. And that first initial surge is the fan kicking on. There. And it is now running 15,000 BTU air conditioner with the Micro Air Easy Start. I'm impressed. I am really impressed. So we're going to go ahead and let this thing run for a little bit. This is a good break-in for it. You know, under load, getting heated up, having spikes. Once it's warmed up, and it's been warmed up for about 15-20 minutes, these are good indications on how to break in a small engine. It needs to see all the ranges that it's going to operate in so that all that metal can get hot and break down against each other so they can friction each other nice and smooth. So we'll go ahead and let this run for a little bit and we'll come back. All right, so this thing's been running. I went ahead and mowed the lawn back here. We got so much rain that I can only mow it occasionally. Looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on econo mode. Again, this is running the 15,000 BTU air conditioner inside. So let's go in. The temperature, I don't know, it's like 94, I think, maybe. Let's see what it is currently. It's definitely cooler in here. You can see the output voltage is showing 119 on my gauge here. And as far as the polarity, these generators generate some strange open ground or floating ground situations. You can get a fix for that, but I'm okay. Yeah, 87. So we've dropped quite a few degrees, and it's running just fine. It's running real well. This Honda generator, it's doing an exceptional job. Good deal.